out of control.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Premise Podcast. This is the podcast where every episode is a completely new podcast. Maybe that confuses you, or maybe, just maybe, you and I get each other. Maybe you and I are kind of on a same wavelength. So be it. We have a very special episode of the Premise Podcast, which again is the podcast where every single time we put out a show, it's a new deal. It's got new hosts. Me, they're always me. Sometimes Stevan. Sam's been on too. And we've had guest hosts, but that's not the point. Forget about the guest hosts. Every single episode is like a fingerprint. And you can kind of think of our podcast collection as, files at a police precinct filled with all of our fingerprints. So each episode is different. That's the point I'm trying to make. But this episode is very special. It's I, for one, am a deep, deep lover of the film noir genre. I like how it's black and white. I like the fedoras, and I love the cigarettes. And I've always wanted to make my own film noir, but because of budget reasons, I settled with a podcast. So this is a film noir podcast noir, if you will, if you so will be inclined. It is about a man who is a private detective, which you may have guessed. Let me just say, if you don't know what the film noir genre is, you may be confused, but I say listen anyway. You're smart, you can figure it out. Use context clues, for God's sake. This is a podcast noir about a private detective, a missing person, intrigue, insurance fraud, and a whole lot of gun shooting. And cigarettes, of course, the cornerstone of the film noir genre. These were written by me, and they're starring all my friends. We got credits at the end, so you can hang around and hear that. Very excited for you to hear this. Also, this is the most important thing. This is a two-part episode. We've never done a two-part episode on the Premise Podcast before. We've done bonus episodes. This is a two-parter. So, episode 1 this week of Sam Sloane in Triple Indemnity. I hope you enjoy it.
Interior, the private eye office of Sloane & Partner. Day. The streets of Los Angeles, California are riddled with crime. This crime doesn't just involve churning out terrible movies. No, it involves the cold barrel of a gun up against your chest, the sound of footsteps behind you, a distant scream of some poor dame who caught a bad break. There's a building in LA. It's an inauspicious building made of brick and mortar by hard-working hands. On the second floor of this building, just above a bowling alley, is an office for a private detective or a private eye. His name is Sam Sloane, and he's seen everything these streets have to offer, and they don't scare him. In fact, nothing scares him, except for a loose animal at the zoo, clowns, and a pending pregnancy test. Sam has a rugged face, and his hair is several years away from graying. His slim figure fits into a suit, and then into a trench coat. He's a hard-boiled sort of private eye who is, before anything else, a professional. Today is like any other day for Sam Sloane, or so he thinks. He sits at his desk with nothing to do, no crimes to solve. He looks through some files, opening and closing manila envelopes with solved crimes and closed cases. No, Sam doesn't have much to do today. He's bored, hungry for a crime and some egg salad. He takes 2 cigarettes and ignites them in his lips with a desk lighter. He takes one out and has no one to offer it to. His partner, Nick Klosterfield, is out on some beat or at lunch with some broad. Sam sticks the cigarette back in his mouth and finds that he likes the feeling of smoking 2 sticks at once. He adds a third, lights it as well. 3 is even better than 2. Sam Sloane is learning that when it comes to cigarettes, the more, the better. Sam has a thought as he smokes 3 cigarettes at once. He reaches into a desk drawer, pushes away some loaded revolvers and evidence, and grabs his copy of Guinness Book of World Records, 1941 edition. He searches the index for cigarettes. He goes to page 44, and there it is. Herman Winecastle, world record holder for most cigarettes in his mouth. 42.
42. Is that all, huh? Well, let's see if we can set a record today. Rita.
We hear his secretary on the line.
Yes, Mr. Sloane?
Get Mr. Guinness on the phone for me, doll.
Yes, sir, Mr. Sloane.
At her desk on the other side of the wall from Sam's office, Rita opens a phone book and searches for Alec Guinness's name. She finds that he does not live in the Hollywood area. Rita sighs and realizes that this task will take her all day. But before she can truly begin her search for Sir Alec Guinness's London phone number, she sees a feminine figure in the doorway. The dame is tall, with long and shaved legs. She wears a beret from which drapes a black veil to cover her forehead. She's a brunette, but might as well be a blonde. Her red dress makes Rita wonder, how many bloodstains does this woman have to hide?
Hello, miss. Can I help you?
My name is Vivian Beauregard. I'm here to see the private detective.
What about?
It's a secret.
We have a lot of those around here. Go right in.
Vivian Beauregard steps forward as Rita leaves to catch the next flight to London. Vivian stands in front of the door, which is carefully stenciled on the glass. Sam Sloane and partner. Private Eyes. This is Podcast Noir. This week, Sam Sloane in Triple Indemnity, Part 1. Interior, the private eye office of Sloane and partner. Day. To Sam's surprise, Vivian Beauregard enters his office. He spits out 24 cigarettes, and they scatter over his desk.
Sam Sloane?
That's what my friends call me.
And what do your enemies call you?
Spam Boner. Can I offer you a smoke?
Just one or two, please.
Sam hands Vivian 2 of the lit cigarettes from off his desk. He inserts them seductively into her mouth, like someone in a hot dog eating contest would after dipping it in water. He puts a cigarette back in his own mouth and puffs on it, leaving the rest to burn like Hanukkah candles on his desk.
You're the detective, I hear.
And a damn good one. Now are you here for business or pleasure?
Maybe a little bit of both. Mainly, I need to hire you.
And I need to be hired. What's the case?
I don't remember exactly.
You're willing to play hardball, are you?
No, I don't remember exactly, as in I don't remember the exact details. You see, Mr. Sloane, I have selective amnesia.
Selective amnesia, eh? Well, I hunt down criminals, honey, not memories.
It's my friend, Mr. Sloane. She's gone missing. I need you to find her.
When'd you last see her?
I'm not sure. I've forgotten.
Right, the amnesia. Well, what do you remember?
Very little, Mr. Sloane.
Well, what's in it for me to help a dame like you?
I'll pay you in money.
Why didn't you say so? Do you remember the girl's name?
Peggy Marlborough.
Heir to the Marlboro cigarette fortune?
No, just a big fan.
And what does this Peggy Marlboro look like?
With the selective amnesia, I could only give a sketch artist enough information for him to draw this picture.
Vivian hands Sam a white sheet of paper. On it, there is a drawing of a stick figure with 2 large circle breasts. Sam takes a look at the picture.
She's a nice-looking broad.
Besides that, here's all the information I have.
Vivian hands Sam a briefcase. He opens it to find a torn sheet of legal pad paper that contains only the words Peggy Marlborough. See phone book for number.
Now I know where to start. Rita, give me the phone book.
We hear no answer from Rita.
I'll be going now, Mr. Sloane. I hope to hear from you again soon.
Sure. Maybe we'll be seeing a lot of each other. And hopefully this kidnapped friend of yours.
As Vivian heads for the door, she gives a glance over her shoulder and takes one last look at Sam Sloane. She turns and nearly bumps into Sam's partner, Nick Closterfield, as he walks in the office. Nick gives Vivian a look over as she walks away.
That's quite a dame, Sam. She a new secretary?
Nick wears a 3-piece suit and he places his hat on a rack next to his desk. The suit that he wears is an expensive one, and with his strong frame, squared chin, and handsome mustache, he fits in with the stars of Hollywood on the streets.
You gonna fall in love with her, Sam?
I was in love once before, and I don't intend to fall for a dame again. Not today or any other day. Not on this case.
You ever think of that girl from Paris anymore?
No more than you think about your floozies. No, she's long gone. Ancient history. A distant memory from a forgotten past. Anyway, we got a new case, Nick.
This broad in the red dress in trouble?
It's a friend who's in trouble. Maybe she is too, I don't know. The point is, the dame's got a missing friend named Peggy Marlborough.
Gee, I could use a smoke.
Here's one. Anyway, we need to track this Peggy Marlborough down.
I'll get the phone book.
Nick leaves the office and fetches the yellow pages from Rita's desk. He returns to the office he shares with Sam, feeling productive. Sure, Sam has the bigger desk and all the women and the suave way of moving about the world. But they're detectives, damn it. And no less than that, they're partners. And a partner has to look out for their partner no matter what. Or else it's bad for detectives. Nick realizes he's been standing in place for a long time. He's been having another one of his fits. He hands Sam the phone book. Sam leafs through the phone book, finds an entry for Peggy Marlborough, which contains a home phone number and home address.
I'm getting the machine. I guess she's not missing at home.
You better leave a message.
Right. Peggy, this is Sam Sloane. I'm a private eye. I hear you're missing. Please give me a call back. Love you. Sorry. That was force of habit. Goodbye.
Sam hangs up the phone.
Should we go check a place out, Sam?
Yeah, we'd better.
I'll get changed.
Nick, known for being a master of disguise, changes out of his three-piece suit and into one of his favorite disguises, the Bald Wizard. He dons a bald cap from which drapes long white hair from above his ears, a purple cloak, and a large wooden staff. He glues on a long white beard to complete the costume.
Let's find this missing person, Sam.
Exterior, Peggy's neighborhood. Day. Sam pulls up a few houses down from Peggy's address. Nick, still in his wizard disguise, grabs a pair of binoculars and scopes out the place.
Looks like there's someone's in there already, Sam.
Yeah, and there's a car out front.
Whoever's inside must be looking for a quick getaway.
We better go get some intel out of this driver rube.
Sam and Nick get out and calmly approach the car. Sam taps on the glass of the window.
Hey, Mac, you got a nice car here.
Good for waiting on henchmen who are on the job.
Who's inside the house, Mac?
And why would I tell you?
What? You don't want to tell a couple of movie producers about yourself?
You mean that you and this bald wizard here are big-time movie producers?
That's right. We discovered Gary Cooper.
And you're perfect for this role in a new film.
Oh yeah? What's the role?
It's a movie about a getaway driver who squeals on his boss. Maybe you'd like an audition.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't have a script.
Act for what you know.
Okay, well, this big-time mobster named Joe Fatso hired me to drive a henchman of his to this house that belongs to a missing girl.
What does this Joe Fatso have to do with the missing girl?
Oh, improv. He's in love with her, and he has a hat he'd like to sell.
Sounds like he's exhausted everything he actually knows, Sam.
That's true. I don't know nothing about Joe Fatso besides he's trying to find the girl.
You mean Joe Fatso isn't the one who kidnapped her?
No, I'm certain he didn't.
We better get some answers out of the henchman inside.
Hey, be careful. He's armed.
We'll go around back and sneak up on him.
Sam and Nick draw their guns and head for the house. Hey guys, I get the part?
Sorry, Mac. We talked and, well, we're gonna have to pass on you.
Sam and Nick sneak around the back of the house, guns drawn. They see a shadow through the window and figure it must have been Joe Fatso's goon. Interior, Peggy's house. Day. Just a few seconds later. Sam and Nick skulk up to the back of the house. Nick turns the knob to the back door, finds it unlocked, and they both silently enter. They hear some clamoring in the kitchen. They sneak up behind the goon, and Nick clubs the man with the butt of his gun. The goon begins to black out, but gets a glimpse of his attackers.
Is that Wizard Balls?
I think he passed out.
Tie him up while I have a look around. When he comes to, we'll pound some information out of him.
Sure thing. I love pounding.
Nick starts tying up the man. He's a bit unsettled by the small man's buggy eyes and potential accent. Nick shudders at the thought. Sam takes a look around and sees the place is trashed. He finds fingerprints all over the kitchen. Do they belong to the henchmen, Sam wonders? He realizes these are fake fingerprints. He's seen them before. Little silicone numbers left at crime scenes to throw private eyes like him off a criminal's trail. This goon must have planted them. He keeps scoping the place out. There's a bare spot on the living room wall where a frame used to hang. All that's left is a single nail. Sam deduces that this nail is how the picture frame was hung in the first place. Sam realizes that there are no pictures of the woman. There are pictures of women around, but only old grandmother-type women. None that match the sketch artist's rendering. Sam goes over to the phone and sees there's a message. It is an old-timey answering machine, one of the very first. It's hooked up to an old Victrola phonograph. Sam drops the needle on an old vinyl record, which begins to slowly turn around and around, playing the message.
Peggy, this is Sam Sloane. I'm a private eye. I hear you're missing. Please give me a call back. Love you. Sorry, that was force of habit. Goodbye.
Sam deletes the message. He'll try again later, without the I love you. He checks in on Nick, who after tying the henchman has changed into a new disguise. This time Nick wears an old-timey baseball uniform with stirrup socks, a square cap, and a handlebar mustache.
Nick, go ahead and wake the little creep up.
His eyes have been open the whole time he's been unconscious. They're like big quarters.
Nick hits the henchman over the head with the butt of his gun again. The goon comes too.
Oh, my head. Who are you people?
German accent.
Are you Tris Speaker? What happened to the bald wizard? And who are you? My name is Sam Sloane. I'm a private detective, and I think you and I are looking for the same person. Is that so? Phil? You're a nervous little fella, aren't you? Just so we're clear, what woman are you talking about?
Sam shows him the sketch artist rendering that Vivian gave him.
Oh, that's better than the picture I have.
Amore nods towards the picture he has, which is just a piece of paper with the word woman written on it.
So it's the same broad. Why don't you tell me why you're here? My name is Patrick Amore. I'm an assistant for...
Yo, Fatso. We know that part already. We're very good detectives.
You must have talked to my driver. I hope you didn't get his hopes up about anything. He's ready to snap at any moment.
What's your driver's name?
Richard something. Nixon. I don't know.
This Joe Fatso. What does he do?
He's my employer. The head of the insurance mafia.
Insurance mafia?
Exactly. What does Joe Fatso want with this broad? Well, she filed this insurance claim.
Talk or I'll bust your face.
Please, no. The pain. It hurts. So she filed an insurance claim. Who doesn't? You don't understand. This is a very lucrative claim if certain things go in certain ways. Joe Fatso doesn't want to pay up if Miss Marlborough can be found. Joe Fatso wants to keep that money to buy an exercise equipment.
What do you mean?
You know, medicine balls, vibrating valves, thigh slenderizers. What do you mean about Joe Fatso not wanting to pay insurance for a missing person? Well, Miss Marlborough has a potentially lucrative insurance claim. There are these different clauses, you see.
Explain it to us, you rat.
Okay, so you can claim indemnity if you're murdered. There's a certain payoff for your next of kin or a close friend. But if your death is an accident, you'll get double indemnity.
You mean a double payoff?
That's right. So you think this Peggy Marlborough is trying to squeeze a double indemnity insurance claim out of Joe Fatso, huh? No. There's another clause. You see, on Miss Marlborough's insurance claim, if she's murdered by accident and she stays missing, then her friend Vivian Beauregard can claim triple indemnity.
Triple indemnity?
Triple indemnity.
So the payoff will be 3 times payoff for a typical murder.
That's triple indemnity. So Vivian Beauregard is in line to collect the money if Miss Marlborough isn't found. But why would she hire me to find the broad?
The selective amnesia.
Either that or this is much bigger than we thought. It must be. And I'll help you find out exactly what's happening.
But you're on Joe Fatso's payroll.
Oh, he hasn't paid me in months. Plus, I like you guys better. Though I don't care much for that boat visit. Untie him, Nick.
Do I have to?
Please, the ropes. They're so tight.
I think you can handle it. I'm pretty tired, and I could use a power nap. Meet us back at the office. When you get there, look for an old man in a conductor's outfit.
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker.
As Sam and Nick leave, Amore wrestles himself out of the bonds. Interior, the private eye office of Sloane and Partner. Day. Amore, now on Sam and Nick's side, stays behind to gnaw at his ropes. Sam and Nick look for their next move in the office as Nick changes into a conductor's outfit.
What do you think, Nick?
I'm not quite sure what to make of it all, Sam.
I guess we'd better track down this Vivian Beauregard again.
A wild goose chase for triple indemnity. She must be quite a dame.
Nick heads down to the lobby to wait for Amore. Sam decides he'll find Vivian Beauregard even if it takes him all afternoon. Just then, Vivian enters the office.
Looks like I found you.
Were you looking for me?
Searching far and wide, baby.
And was it worth it?
With legs like that? Hubba, hubba. Now why don't you tell me what you know about triple indemnity?
Triple indemnity?
Triple indemnity.
Not ringing a bell. It must be the selective amnesia. By the way, I remembered something about Peggy.
What's that?
She has hair.
I guess Nick and I can cross a few bald suspects off our lists.
Very well.
Now, from what I hear, you're better friends with this Peggy Marlborough than you may have let on.
Not my fault. Selective amnesia.
While that may be so, it seems you're the one who got her to go missing in the first place.
So that must mean I know where she is.
Somewhere in that brain of yours, you know.
Well, you can consider it forgotten.
Listen, it seems you're in line to make a pretty penny if this Peggy Marlborough stays missing. That's the triple indemnity I'm talking about. And Joe Fatso doesn't want you to get that money. But you would have forgotten to claim it in the first place if you never came to me.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying it's in your best interest to pay me my money and drop this whole thing before anyone gets hurt.
And stop paying you? I wouldn't think of it.
I won't be able to use the money if we all get dead.
You won't let me get hurt now, will you, Sam?
Not if I can help it. Not with that face.
Wait.
Was I coming on too strong?
No, it's just, you gave me one of those, what do you call it? A memory. Yes, this is definitely a memory. I remember that Peggy went to see a plastic surgeon and got a new face. That's how we were going to claim the triple indemnity. Once she had a new face, then she could never be found.
And that's what you think.
You're going to find her, Sam.
You're paying me, aren't you? I'm glad I could jog your memory for you.
You're jogging more than that.
Oh, baby.
No, I mean you're jogging another one of those memory things. It has to do with Peggy and her face and the triple indemnity.
And what's the new memory?
Crisscross.
A crisscross?
Crisscross. She had a deal with this guy that they would both get accidentally murdered and go missing, and each one would be responsible for the other person's accidental murder. They'd be entitled to the other's insurance claim.
So, a crisscross.
That's right.
Well, do you remember the name of the guy?
Crisscross.
Yeah, the guy she crisscrossed with.
Crisscross.
You're being annoying.
No, Sam. His name is Christopher Cross. I remember that when Peggy decided I would be the one to claim her triple indemnity, Criss Cross wasn't so happy.
She canceled the crisscross.
Yes, she stopped the old switcheroo.
Who is this Christopher Cross, anyway?
He's a Christian musician. You may know some of his songs. Glory Be to the Maccabees, Milk and Honey Baby, and I Wanna Rock in Bethlehem Tonight.
Never heard of the guy, but he must be trying to find Peggy, too. That means we've got to work fast.
You're not going to leave so soon, are you, Sam?
Vivian leans in close and holds Sam.
What's the rush?
They kiss passionately, and he holds her limp, lifeless body in his arms as he kisses her full, warm lips. Exterior, outside of Sam's office building. Day. Amore, nursing his rope burns, walks towards Sam's office. He stops when he hears someone call out.
All aboard!
Amore sees Nick, who is dressed as an old train conductor, complete with pinstriped overalls and a stupid hat.
The conductor!
Tickets, please.
Hall of Fame baseball player Tris Speaker told me to find you.
Last stop, Crime Town.
It is you!
Sam gave me those fake fingerprints he found at Peggy's house. Do you know anything about them?
Well, I forgot a bunch of stuff when I got hit on the head twice with the butt of a pistol, but no, I don't think that was me.
That means someone was roaming around Peggy's house before you. Joe Fatso must have sent someone earlier.
That's harsh to hear. I'm glad I'm stabbing him in the back now.
Where does Joe Fatso get these fake fingerprints from anyways?
There's a nail salon on 3rd Street that manufactures all the silicone fingerprints in town. That's where Joe Fatso goes for his fake fingerprints and other services.
All right, Amore. Let's get to that nail salon.
But, Mr. Conductor, I don't see any railroad tracks.
I guess you'll have to carry me then.
Interior, the private eye office of Sloane and Partner. Day. Back in the office, Sam puts out another cigarette. He leafs through the phone book for the name that Vivian gave him. He comes across the entry, Christopher Cross. Sam looks at the entry.
Oh, his name is Criss Cross.
Sam dials the number.
Hello?
Is this Criss Cross?
What's that? You say the line's across or something?
No, your name is Christopher Cross.
Yeah, so what?
Criss Cross, the Christian musician?
The same.
My name is Sam Sloane. I'm a private detective.
How'd you get this number, huh?
The phone book.
Damn the phone book. Well, what do you want?
I want to talk to you about insurance, and I expect you to do plenty of talking.
Insurance.
That's right. More specifically, I want to talk to you about triple indemnity.
To be continued next week on Podcast Noir. This has been Podcast Noir, presented by The Premise Podcast. Sam Sloane in Triple Indemnity was written by Bo Segrest, starring Bo Segrest, Stephen Marcus, Laura Freeman, Eric Sommer, and Rob Freeman.